Help me hit 4,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. At my 35th birthday party, I thought everything was finally settling into place. My wife, Claire, had spent weeks planning the event at our favorite rooftop lounge downtown. The lights were warm. The DJ played a mix of old-school hits, and our friends gathered around with easy smiles. I remember standing there thinking how lucky I was. How, after years of grinding through work stress and family pressures, we had finally reached a point where we felt steady, safe, and close again. But that illusion didn't last long. Started subtly, the way a storm begins with a faint breeze. I noticed Claire checking her phone more than usual. She'd lock the screen quickly, then plaster on a smile when she caught me watching. I brushed it off as party coordination. Maybe the caterer or DJ was messaging her. But then she stepped away for a phone call, her voice low, almost nervous. When she returned, something in her eyes had shifted. It wasn't sadness or anger. It was anticipation. Moments later, a tall man walked in. I didn't recognize him at first, but the way Claire's body went rigid, and then softened, told me everything before she said a word. His name was Adam, her ex, the one she claimed she hadn't spoken to in years. The one she said she'd blocked after a messy breakup long before we met. The one she assured me had no place in her life. Yet here he was, uninvited, walking into my birthday celebration like he belonged. Claire rushed over to him with a smile that felt too bright, too rehearsed. "I didn't think you'd come," she said, wrapping her arms around him. Not the polite, brief hug you give someone from the past, but a slow, lingering embrace that made the room tilt. I walked closer, trying to steady myself. Claire introduced us with a casual tone, as if this wasn't a punch to the gut. "Ethan, this is Adam. He happened to be in the area, so I told him to stop by." Her eyes avoided mine, a lie obvious and sharp. I shook his hand, forcing a grin. He smirked, like he knew exactly what was happening, like he'd already won something I didn't realize I was losing. The music shifted to a slower track. Couples drifted onto the dance floor. I turned to grab a drink, trying to steady the swirl of disbelief inside my chest. When I looked back, Claire wasn't beside me anymore. She was in the center of the floor, her hands on Adam's shoulders, his hands on her waist, their bodies moving like they'd practiced this 1,000 times before. My birthday, my wife, her ex, a slow dance, my vision tunneled, conversations blurred. The party lights seemed too bright. I waited for her to pull away, to remember that she was dancing with another man while her husband watched. But she didn't. She leaned in. She laughed. She rested her head near his. And that was the moment something inside me went quiet. Not angry, not devastated, just quiet. I set down my glass, slipped past a cluster of guests, and walked out the door without saying a word. The night air hit me like a confession. Cold, sobering, honest. I didn't look back. Couldn't. I walked 3 blocks before stopping, unsure of where I was going or what I planned to do. The silence of the street felt brutal compared to the noise inside the lounge. For the first time in our marriage, I didn't want to fight, argue, or beg for an explanation. I just wanted distance. 10 minutes later, my phone exploded with missed calls. First Claire, then her friend Megan, then Claire again. I ignored them all. Eventually, a message came, "Ethan, please come back. It's not what you think." I didn't reply. 5 minutes later, "I need to explain. You walking out caused a scene." Good, I thought. Maybe she could feel a fraction of what I felt watching her dance with him. Then Megan called again and this time left a voicemail. Her voice trembled. "Ethan, something happened after you left. You really need to hear this." I hesitated, then finally listened. Adam tried to pull Claire away from the dance floor. He said he wanted to talk privately. She told him no. He got aggressive, like he expected her to go with him. The security stepped in, and she started crying. She wasn't flirting, Ethan. She was scared. She invited him thinking she could prove to herself she was over him. But she didn't expect him to act like that. "She kept asking for you." My breath faltered. Another message arrived, this time from Claire. Not frantic. Not defensive. Just raw. I messed up. I thought I was strong enough to show I'd moved on. But seeing him brought back fears I never told you about. I shouldn't have danced with him. I shouldn't have let him in. Please come home. I need you. The anger inside me cracked. Not erased. Not forgiven. But softened by something deeper than betrayal, understanding. Claire had always been confident, but she carried old wounds she hid behind that confidence. I'd seen glimpses, but never the full weight. I walked back toward the lounge, not sure what I'd say or how the night would end. When I arrived, Claire stood outside, arms wrapped around herself, mascara smudged, trembling not from the cold but from regret. When she saw me, she didn't speak. She just stepped forward and collapsed into my arms like she had been holding herself together by threads. We talked for hours. About her past, her fears, her mistake, and my hurt. Nothing was magically fixed, but something did change. The illusion that we were unbreakable. Now we saw each other clearly. Flawed, scared, human. And strangely, that honesty became the start of something stronger than the celebration we'd planned. In the weeks that followed, we rebuilt trust slowly, choosing honesty, patience, and shared effort to move forward together.